The two great signs of the covenant between God and the human race are the rainbow and the cross. Each of these signs spans the universe, and the covenant grants all men and women an equal status, since in God's eyes there is no favoritism. All are God's beloved children. The rainbow and the cross symbolize God's goodwill towards the human family. Each has a vertical and a horizontal span and implies some measure of purification while offering a promise of joy and completion. The rainbow appears after the rain has cleansed the sky and it heralds bright sunlight. In Genesis, the rainbow announces the end of the flood and the divine promise that such a flood will never again sweep the earth. Despite its beauty, the rainbow will not let us forget the devastating force of the flood, which is now seen as a purifying thing, cleansing, washing the human race clean of its wickedness. The same applies to the cross. No one can look at a cross, no matter how ornate it may be, without remembering the excruciating death of Jesus. Yet the cross is lifted high on our churches and is worn as the sign and emblem of our victory over sin and despair. For Jesus' resurrection is the pledge of our own future life. Both cross and rainbow carry a message of universal salvation. They belong to the world and in fact come to our attention first from the secular sphere of life. The cross was the dreaded Roman form of execution. The rainbow is visible to every human eye, whatever the person's religion may be. The cross and the rainbow are beautiful and demanding, hopeful and distressing, dark, grim, and open, fragile, deeply personal and fully universal. In their light, we can truly answer Jesus' question to the disciples, "Who do you say that I am?" Like Socrates, Jesus delighted to ask questions of the people he encountered. One of his most important questions is found in today's Gospel, "Who do you say that I am?" It is a question addressed to each one of us, and each of us is asked to answer the question for ourselves. But it is not a question that just asks for information, whose answer could be found in a book. It is a question that addresses our heart as well as our head. Peter's answer to Jesus' question was correct. "You are the Christ." Peter's answer was not the whole truth about Jesus. Jesus went on to identify himself as the Christ, who would also be the suffering Son of Man, who would be rejected and put to death. This self-revelation of Jesus was not acceptable to Peter. He had still to learn to accept the whole truth about Jesus, to receive Jesus as he was and not as Peter wanted him to be. Peter had a long way to go before he could answer Jesus' question fully. We are all on that same journey, coming to receive Jesus as he really is, and not just as we want him to be or imagine him to be. That I may continue to follow Jesus wholeheartedly in my life, let's pray for this grace for one another.